Great day, everyone. Jereshia here. I am an income strategist and I teach coaches, consultants, and freelancers a simple way to sell their services online. And I'm going to be answering a question today that came from somebody in my free Facebook group, Selling Signature Services with Jereshia. And she asked the question, Ashley asked this question of what are the things that you focus on doing most in your business that actually produce profit as a solopreneur? And I think this is a question that probably a lot of us, or maybe a lot of you guys have had over time, like, okay, what are the things that I need to be doing to generate income? What are the things and the actions I need to be doing on a daily basis, weekly basis, whatever, for me to actually make money in my business? And I want to just talk about that. So to kind of depict this through a story, I got to hang out with my grandmother today. She's 85 years old. She raised me with my aunt. And I remember growing up, when I went off to college. And I remember I was trying to learn how to make a Thanksgiving-ish dinner when I was away at school. And my favorite dish on Thanksgiving is dressing or stuffing, depending on what cultural upbringing you came from. You might call it something different. But dressing, stuffing, that was my favorite dish from Thanksgiving. And I remember calling my grandmother, asking her, how do I cook this? How do I make this dressing that you always make, and how do I make it? So she tells me to buy all these ingredients, to get, celery, and to buy this, I don't even remember all the stuff that goes in it because clearly it never worked out. But she told me all the things to go buy. So I went to the store, I bought all these things, and then I called her again saying, okay, Ma, I have all the ingredients. Now what am I supposed to do? And she's like, you just need a pinch of this and you need a pinch of that, and just sprinkle a little bit of salt on this and put it in the oven. And I was just like, Ma, I hear what you're telling me. I have all the ingredients, and you're telling me just to kind of throw these things in a pot with a pinch of this and a pinch of that. I don't really know this is going to come out the way that, it tastes like when you cook it. So I tried to listen to her over the phone. Really no recipe, just her going off the top of her mind, because that's just how grandmas cook. And it was straight trash. I remember when I made it, it was just the most disgusting thing I had ever prepared. And I think this correlates back to why was it so bad? I had all the things that she told me I needed to have. And I had kind of seen her cook it before, and I was just trying to go off of memory and just trying to really hack her recipe, even though I was hearing bits and pieces of what she was telling me over the phone, but it just didn't come out the way that she makes it. It didn't taste, it didn't even look the same. But that, when you really think about it, it was, even though I had all the ingredients, I had no step-by-step recipe. I didn't have instructions to really follow to actually make the meal and for it to actually taste the way that, she makes it. And maybe you guys can relate to that. I don't really know. But the same is true in business. A lot of the time, if you're asking the question, well, what should I be doing that will actually generate and produce profit for me in my business? The first answer to that is you need to be focusing on revenue generating activities, income generating activities, doing things that will actually produce you revenue. And you might be asked, okay, well, what are those things? And if you don't have a process, if you don't have a strategy, if you don't know what your business model is in regards to what your offer is and the way that you're supposed to sell it, I could tell you to go do a million things, but the recipe, the formula, the whatever, it may not come out, it won't come out the same. Just like my dressing that my grandmother, I bought all the ingredients, I was doing all the things, but I didn't have a process to follow to actually make the dish the way that she makes it, or for it to actually taste good, for it to actually work. And again, the same is very true in business. So you really need to first, when you ask the question of what should I be doing to produce profit, you need to take a step back and look at what business model are you actually implementing? What business model do you currently have? What is your strategy based off your offers and your income goals for you, for you and your business? And then really looking at it critically, what are the things that I do in my business that actually move the needle forward and generate profit for me? So that's really the best way for me to answer that question. You need to have a process. You need to have a strategy. You need to have a recipe for you to follow for the dish to actually come out and taste good, i.e. for you to come out and actually make money. So my biggest thing is, I call it the POP method. This is something that we teach actually in my signature program Services That Sell, and I'll give you guys just a very high level overview of what I mean by this. But if you're earning, kind of regardless of where you're at in your business, but especially if you're earning less than 6 figures a year, you really need to be focused on the POP method. And this is where you pick one person. This is like who your target audience is. Pick one problem that you're solving for them. This is what your offer will be. And you need to package one process, which is really the methodology that you have your client follow to get consistent results. From there, you also need to pick one platform. And this is one platform that you can dominate, that you can own, that you can create consistent content on, that you'll be actually converting clients consistently from. And when you really focus on the POP method, this allows you to, instead of trying to be out here doing everything, I need to go write blog posts, I need to see an email newsletters, I need to do Facebook Lives, I need to have a Facebook group, I need to be posting on Instagram, I need to be making Instagram stories, I need to be doing Pinterest. There's like a million other things that you could be doing. You're really spreading yourself too thin, and you're not actually giving enough attention to any one thing to build momentum and to gain traction. So when you look at the POP method, this really allows you to kind of cut out the noise and get laser focused on one person, one problem, one process, one platform, which will allow you to start to gain some momentum. So that's really a critical thing that you can do to start generating profit for you and your business. And I think, what we teach in Services That Sell, a lot of what I teach my clients and really what's worked well for me is live video is such a powerful tool, especially if you don't have a large audience, or if you have a lot of cold leads that are coming your way, meaning that these people don't know who you are, they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, they're new to you. You need to have a medium in place that allows you to warm that cold audience up. And a way that you can do it organically in a very quick time frame is through doing live video. So if I look at my own business, we close to hitting 300K here now, going into 2 years in business in October. I know what my revenue generating activities are. Like, I know that there's Facebook is my pick one platform. That's how we've grown our business. That's how we have gained clients. That has how we have organically grown the community that we have today. And I know that when I do live stream video, that has a direct impact on what my revenue is that month. Because live video is a way for new people to discover me, for you guys to share my videos and introduce me to your friends. And once you get to a point in your business, you can really leverage Facebook Live content and start throwing ad money on there to start reaching cold and new audiences. So that's something for me. If I don't do live stream video, that can have a direct impact on my revenue for that month or for the following months ahead. And one thing is, what is a revenue generating activity? If you're never actually selling your services, you're never going to make any money. And I know a lot of the time, so many of us are maybe behind the scenes in our notebooks, in Evernote, in our Google Doc, writing the best service, trying to create the best, content, working all this stuff behind the scenes where we're the only ones that can see it, but we're never actually putting our stuff out there and inviting people to work with us, actually telling people what we do and who we serve and what problem that we solve. We're never actually putting our stuff out there for potential clients to interact with it. So a revenue generating activity that you must be doing all the time is actually selling your stuff, and actually being visible, actually making the invitation for people to work with you, and to take that next step, and make that transaction. And that's really the biggest hiccup I see for a lot of those who are making less than 6 figures a year in their business, is they're never making the invitation. They're like Dexter's Laboratory, behind the scenes in the lab, doing all this work, but they're never actually putting it out there and actually selling it. And a lot of the time I think, people can have, they're looking at it like my grandmother's recipe. Well, if I just have all the right ingredients, and if I just keep throwing them in a pot, eventually something good will come out. And you can go at it that route. You could keep trying to use all these ingredients and trying to just mesh them up in different ways over months and years to finally make a recipe that works. Or you could just get a process, go buy a recipe, and get it right the first, maybe still you don't get it right the first time, but once you have a recipe, you can keep working on perfecting that recipe to get the dish and get the meal to actually taste the way that you want. So to quickly recap, like the things that you should be focusing on is one, like what is your business model and what are the things that you're actually selling, really implementing the POP method so you can start to gain some focus, so you can actually gain momentum and traction. And then secondly, like what are the things that you can be doing to actually sell your services? And what are those things that you could be doing to actually start generating revenue? Like you need to be putting yourself out there. You need to be actually, inviting people to work with you. You need to be actually selling your service. And like that if you're never selling, like I don't really know what you're doing. Like maybe you're just, a hobbyist, maybe you're just in content creation mode, but like you can't be your own customer. So I'd say those are some things to really think about. Instead of like, what are the things I need to be doing? It's really like you need to be taking a step back and not trying to just mimic what you see everybody else doing. I did this for the first 10 months of my business. I was just trying to mimic what I saw all the millionaires doing online, and didn't really work out that well. I was spreading myself super thin and just doing all these things, trying to be everywhere, do everything, create everything that I saw everybody else having. But I wasn't gaining any momentum for myself because I was spreading myself too thin, and I was trying to copy a business model that wasn't even my own. I was trying to create and sell services that weren't even aligned, didn't feel good to sell, didn't feel good to even deliver. I didn't even know how to sell because I was just, copying what I saw somebody else doing versus having my own strategy and having something that aligned with my offers and the problem that I solved and the audience that I served and the platform that felt, most impactful and powerful for me to reach those target audience, and reach my target audience. So you really need to just, like I said, I'd say focus on the POP method for you to get going and make sure that you're actually doing things that will allow you to experience a transaction. I.e. getting somebody's email address, that is a transaction, i.e., getting people on a phone call, you're getting a transaction, you're getting their time, and then eventually having that transaction of monetary money, actually asking and inviting people for the sale. So I hope this was helpful. If you understand and can resonate with what the advice that I'm giving, and you're like, okay, Jay, I get that bigger picture, but how do I do that? I don't feel confident selling my services because I'm not really clear on what my service is. I don't feel, comfortable selling my service or inviting people to work with me because I don't know what process I'm going to take them through on the back end. Or if it's just I have an amazing service and I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to deliver, but I don't know how to sell it. I don't know how to communicate it in a way that resonates with the target audience. I don't know how to position it. I would love for you to join me for my upcoming masterclass, which is all about teaching you a simple way to sell your services consistently online. And it's called the 4-step framework to convert more clients. So I invite you to join us. You can click the link in the title of this description if you are interested in joining, or click the link that's in the comments that I just posted right now. And you guys can, it's a free live training. It'll be about 90 minutes long, but we're going to be walking you through a proven process. It's not just going to be a bunch of tips and how-tos, but I'm going to teach you guys this strategy. It's a 4-step framework that is a strategy that I have used to be able to get to this point in my business, and the exact same strategy that we teach our clients on how they can create a really good offer and how to actually sell it consistently online. And these, when you look at what should I be doing to generate revenue, this strategy is what you should be doing so you can actually generate profit, especially as a solopreneur. Because as a solopreneur, you only have so much capacity. You only have so much time, energy, and resources available for you to invest into your business and to grow your business. You want to make sure that you are capitalizing and really maximizing the time you have available and the resources you have available to make sure you're doing the right things and not just doing all this stuff, being busy, but never actually getting anywhere. So I invite you to join me for this next, our upcoming masterclass training. Just click the link above or below, and I will see you there. Bye, everyone.